What's good, YouTube? And welcome to a card that is breaking Yu-Gi-Oh! History for the most amount of buyouts in the shortest time, yet its price actually isn't that absurd compared to other cards in the past. It's Purrely, and we can call it the cute tax. Don't you dare call it the waifu tax or you get off of my channel. I've already talked about that on Twitter to some of you weirdos. But when it comes down to Purrely, look at this cute little Eevee of Yu-Gi-Oh! We even discussed if it was overhyped, underhyped coming out. I said I thought it was overhyped, but it would slow climb over time, and that cards like this get a cult following. Well, that cult following paired with new support in Dueling Nexus, where people are pretty darn certain that it will take the deck to the next level after it's already had OCG success before that new support, they are climbing onto this hype train. Check it out. When it first came out, you had those pre-sale hype prices, and that's what I was saying was overhyped for the time, and it did come down. So I was right in that context, but the slow climb, I was absolutely wrong. You can see multiple times where it tries to chill out, even out, buy out again, buy out again, buy out again, buy out again. Oh, finally we're chilling out for a good while. Nope, into the hype, and it went absolutely crazy. The graph is just absolutely nuts. People are buying this at up to $50 a piece now for the Ultra, and you have to remember, while I sound like a broken record, in these deck building sets, you are only seeing 3.6 of each Ultra Rare on average pulled per case. That is 12 booster boxes, and those booster boxes are starting to climb back towards 60 because people think it's better to go and rip it open. Listen, you are only pulling 4 collector rares on average per case with this product, meaning when you look at the top end, you're likely only going to get one out of the top end ones for your price back, and then people are selling the Mechanco, which also got new support, and I was going to say it was just sitting there, but the sales rates today is absolutely absurd with the new support, and I do think people were a little harsh on the new cards calling it terrible, but look at people buying in. Again, this is a deck where I understand why it doesn't do the best, although it is so fun to play and so fun to watch. And that's another experience I got where I see where people fall for this, but that's the deck building trap, right? Player brain makes this deck look way better than it is. You get all this new support, and maybe it will be able to outperform one day, but right now, Purrely is what people are looking at. The collector rares are hitting new highs with the Purrely collector rares and spell supports, and yeah, actual sales backing it into this hype. But if you want something affordable, over at Tapio Cards, you can use code What'sGood5 for 5% off, and to support the channel directly, they've got a nice Purrely filled center over here, and it looks so freaking nice. Also, their deck box is still up on pre-sale here, and Demon Slayer, that's what I'm keeping up with this season. Now, Zodiac and Banlist stuff. Oh boy, why is Dryden on here? Oh, are we talking about Master Duel? No, it is actually getting bought out for the first edition all the way up to $10 right now, as are other Banlist cards. People are saying, well, you know, you have that Kashtira boss monster. What's so wrong with a Zodiac Dryden? And then bickering begins, which, please, keep it out of the comment section, okay? But when it comes down to it, I do think Dryden could come back. It's been a Master Duel for a while. I think it has been power crept to a good degree, but you still have arguments for Zoo the engine versus Zoo the deck, how it will impact the game, how people will link up with it, etc., etc. And my opinion is, I think it can come off the list, but I don't think that it necessarily will. But yeah, be aware that the versus market price first ed Dryden's are way up right now. Also, Thunder Dragon Colossus, which has been non-stop going down for the most part, getting a lot of sales rates for recent history compared to where it was at. So you know that rumblings in the room. Is there a ban list? Will there be a ban list? What will be on the ban list? What can come off the ban list? And it's starting to creep. You still have a German one here at 70, and then the lowest English start at like 73, 75, which are above the recent sales where people have bought out the ones under 70. But if you look at the graph on OG Secret Rare Colossus, it's done nothing but come down for a long time. People are starting to give up hope that it will come back, but this time, once again, people are spending that money. You can see the lowest first eds are nearing $15, even though it had fallen more towards 11. Also, for TOS format, Orcust Harp Horror is going way up. We just looked at this somewhat recently. It wasn't moving versus other Orcust stuff, and now it's spiking pretty ridiculous up towards $8 for the supers on that copium, or isn't it? We'll have to wait and see what Konami does with their ban list, but you're throwing darts at a dartboard each time that you're saying something will come out, and obviously people are willing to sell this and do this dance again where they sell it at X price. If it doesn't come back, they wait, they buy it under, and then they list it again next ban list season. If you're not the one doing that, you're the one that's being made money off of hyping and pumping into these sales usually. Max C, however, is at one of its all-time lows. This is interesting for the ultimate rare, only $500, which is actually a pretty big only when we've seen English copies sell at $850. Crazy things. Under 500, it was $550 for a very, very good chunk, years and years of time, and now we see tons of them listed here. Near mint English is 500, full play set here, just around there, and then it starts to go up, but tons of them are really crawling around here under that 550 mark where it had been before all the price spikes. So falling way down from grace is Ultimate Maxi at this point. I was asked in, I believe it was stream, about the Gold Pride Starlight, and somebody said they pulled it and should they sell it now? I'm not a magic 8 ball that answers yes, you should sell this, no, you shouldn't sell this, yes, you should pick this up now. I like to give both perspectives of the risk versus reward you can take, and then I can say my opinion, but that's why I'm not a financial advisor channel. I don't know the future of the support Konami is going to print. But when it comes to this, the person who pulled it, right now I like the price it's at, $175 versus the speculation. I personally would sell, but there's a lot of things that can go right and a lot of things that can go wrong, and I also do like the gamble of keeping it, so I'm on both sides of the fence. So here's the good for it. First off, they printed a whole collection of accessories around this deck, meaning Konami likely thinks this will end up being good, and it's almost there. But how many times are we almost there with a World TCG Premier archetype and it just flops on its face all too often, right? It's like, it could do it. War Rocks, baby, War Rock Mountain Investments, and then it absolutely doesn't. War Rocks is one that I thought just absolutely couldn't, and it didn't. But when it comes to this archetype, yes, it's really almost there. People went crazy on reveal for Blue Pirate Lady, and the support's looking good, but you're still gambling that that support's gonna be good, or that it's going to get even further support in the next set after, which Konami's been doing a lot of two and dones at times. So you are hoping that there's another wave of hype if this next support flops, that there will be more support and that it could do it this time again so that you could offload. My personal approach to something like this would be to list it towards $300-ish so that you actually sell it if somebody's doing a buyout when new support is announced or all the ones under you are bought out, but then you're still risking it, not maximizing profit. It could have gone for more. So no matter what you do, there's a risk element to it, and if you list it there and the support sucks, then it just sat there and you could even lose money and it could depress in price instead of impress, right? So just consider risk reward to all situations. There's no clear answer. Red Eye's Insight is up in price over time. No new printings for a while since Legendary Duel Season 1, and that common is $7. I didn't know that. They brought it up on stream last night, so thank you for helping me make my content better and know that, hey, there's cards out there that have really recovered crazy up. Like, actually, look at this graph since release. It's pretty wild to see. Well, the 1 year, it was down to $3 for the longest, over double. Legendary Collection is out those quarter century rares. They do look a little bit shinier, have bigger grids. Ruxin's done a side-by-side, although he didn't tilt in the lighting enough on that Exodia. I wonder why you would be more careful with the $600 card than the $6 card. But you see tons of these getting listed. Do keep in mind these are pre-sales. When I say tons, that's sarcasm. You got that? 2 listings of each by the sellers right now. Very little competition. It'll be interesting to see what these end up at. Dirt cheap, mayhaps at first. These tend to sell very well on Amazon over time. The God cards and then, you know, special rarities of Blue Eyes and Dark Magician. Amazon sellers tend to long-term slurp these up, sell them out there, and that's how they kind of exit the main market. Speed Duel GX Mini Box has really good secret rares that are performing pretty nice for this box. So be aware that a lot of these, the desired cards, they're doing well out the gate, unlike the past GX boxes, and they're really anticipated and people are looking at them. So it'll be kind of weird to watch this price history versus others, because this is the biggest start any secret rares had. Even Battle City, like, they started out lower and got into crazy rolling buyouts. So many people look forward to this and these upgrades that they are starting out strong. And finally, another product got announced, Legendary Duelist Soul Burning Volcano. So again, remember, this is Duelist pack, not a true Legendary Duelist versus the OCG marketing, but in the TCG marketed this way. And when we look at the last ones, they're not doing so hot in price. Even you had a $120 card in Baroness short printed in the pack, and you couldn't sell this pack after, of course, hitting it on the ban list with the Lyrilusk stuff. But this was 3 fan favorites. Speedroids, huge fan favorite by TCG Duelist. Lyrilusk, people love that deck. Again, got hit. And then even this the Sage de Fleur, it did well in the most recent YCS, but it already has a reprint too. So these legendary duelists flopping flat on their face for a good amount of time, I think you can kind of wait for them to bottom out and then go up. But Volcanics are here, and Volcanics are so hype and hot. We'll have to, again, wait to see the rest of the support and how it does. But my early reaction to this is they're talking about 1 Ghost Rare. It doesn't look like they've reworked the structure of this pack. They're hoping the cards alone will hype it enough. And I don't like it so far, even with all of the hype to the reveals yet, but we'll have to wait and see how the reveals finish out, what the Ghost Rare is, estimated value pulled. But so far, even when they've had $120 card, duels packs haven't been doing it. And finally, Elemental Hero Prisma is getting bought out. I'm hearing this is for Mana Dome and shenanigans like that. And then you also do have past formats where this is solid, decent Gladiator Beast. But seriously, this card going so haywire crazy like this is eye-popping, to say the least. And I never like those DT buyouts. They seem to do pretty poor long-term. That's why it's one of the lowest versions before this buyout, but ridiculous prices listed right now, so you could try to list yours and make some sales. Thanks for watching today's Market Watch. Please subscribe if you haven't already. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed the conversation, and let me know what you think about everything going around. And remember, I can say get something sooner than later, or I would get something sooner than later, but that doesn't mean Konami couldn't just throw a curveball reprint around the corner, or do something like that. So always do your own research, look around for yourself, and back up why you do things from your own reasoning while taking it as like something to reflect on or think about. Like, I don't get why people are trying to use a lot of Yu-Gi tubers, because I've been watching the other market streams at times too, like Team, I always murder the name, but it's Team, it starts with S. I know you're around, I watch your streams, and people just are constantly like, hey, what would you do with this? What would you do with that? What would you do with this? Like a magic 8-ball. And realistically, it shouldn't be only that decision that just leads you to jump for it. You should have your answer, but use it for reflection, right? Like, that's how you should be using this kind of content.